What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel and you would like to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that bell so you're notified every time I come out with brand new content. And also, leave me a comment. I'll definitely respond to you guys. And also, please like this video. Let's try to get this video over 100 likes. The last few videos, we've been really killing it. So let's try to kill this video as well. Well, Raider Nation, our Raiders finally made a decision at the general manager position, and the Raiders have decided to go with ex-Los Angeles Charger Tom Telesco. And you know, this decision really makes sense. I can see why Mark Davis went with Tom Telesco. You know, we just hired Antonio Pierce, who's a rookie head coach, and we decided to team him up with an experienced GM. You know, the two other candidates were Ed Dodds and also Champ Kelly. And although I would have loved for them to go with Champ Kelly, you know, they ultimately decided to go with Tom Telesco, a man who's been with the AFC West. You know, he clearly has an understanding of his teams in the division. And, you know, they really wanted to go with an experienced, you know, guy at the general manager position. And, you know, I don't blame Mark Davis for doing that. He clearly didn't want to go two rookies at the two most important positions when you talk about staff, you know, GM and head coach. You know, it's okay that we're going with the inexperienced head coach in AP, but he wanted to pair him up with an experienced guy. And I think that's mainly why he got Tom Telesco. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, this guy just got fired. And, you know, he really got fired the day after the Raiders put a spanking on his team, the Chargers, when we made a franchise record 63 points. You know, a lot of Raider fans are going to complain about that, hey, we went and got this guy when he just got fired. He got embarrassed by us. Well, quite frankly, guys, wins and losses are not a stat that the general manager holds. You know, yes, I know the general manager will get credit if the team succeeds and if, you know, they do well in the playoffs and if they win a Super Bowl in the end. But I don't really think we can tie those wins and losses to Tom Telesco. You know, they really had a terrible head coach in Brandon Staley, and even the head coach before that, Anthony Lynn. But one thing you can't deny is that this guy has an eye for talent. You look at that Chargers roster, and it's stacked with first-round talent, you know, all pro players, great players. You know, they got a great quarterback in Justin Herbert, you know, Rashawn Slater, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, you know, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. All those names I just named are all players that Tom Telesco drafted. You know, not naming the players that he is willing to go out and get in free agency. You know, he paid big money to bring in guys like Khalil Mack. Even though J.C. Jackson didn't work out with the Chargers, he still went and threw the most money at him, and he ended up getting him this offseason, making J.C. Jackson the highest paid corner in the league. You know, so one thing is clear. Tom Telesco is willing to go out and make a splash in free agency and definitely in the draft, something that we have lacked in recent years. For as long as I can remember, the Raiders have lacked in the first round. Big busts in Fabian Washington, Michael Huff, Gary and Connolly, Carl Joseph as of late. We're barely turning the corner and getting guys that are somewhat decent. The jury's still out for Tyree Wilson, but he's on his way to being a good pick. You know, Max Crosby, he was picked in the later rounds. So it's going to be really interesting just how well we do with Tom Telesco. You know, so it's very adamant that we nail this draft coming up. You know, the Raiders are in prime position to make a big leap this offseason. You know, we're only a few players away from really competing in the AFC West and in the playoffs. You know, and I really believe with a great draft and a great offseason, we could be well on our way to those AFC West champions, you know. But it all starts at the quarterback position. Tom Telesco went and got Justin Herbert. You know, he sat there and Justin Herbert landed in front of him. You know, it was said that if the Dolphins went and got Justin Herbert, that the Chargers were perfectly fine in drafting Tua. So we're not gonna give all the credit in the world for drafting Justin Herbert. That guy he was an obvious pick. But that's what I really want to get into, guys. We absolutely have to nail this draft coming up. We have to go get our quarterback of the future, and his job will be tested right out of the gate. Right now we hold the 13th overall pick in the draft, and if the Raiders want to get where we really want to in the end, well, we have to go get a quarterback. So, like I said, this upcoming draft is very important for the Raiders. Tom Telesco has to nail it. And one thing we're gonna be in a disadvantage is that if we were to have Champ Kelly as the main general manager, he already has a relationship with Antonio Pierce, and he would know what players that Antonio Pierce would go after. You know, so is that gonna be a disadvantage now getting Tom Telesco? Well, as of right now, Champ Kelly is still on the Raiders staff. Unless he gets offered another general manager position for another franchise, then he'll leave. But as of right now, he's still on the staff. So if we keep both him and we already added Tom Telesco, I think we're set up for success. But like I said, guys, this is a very important offseason. Not only does he have to draft a great quarterback, but I also feel that he has to pair a great offensive coordinator with Antonio Pierce. Because as you can see in the title of this video, this is the new era of the Las Vegas Raiders. We're done with the Patriots way, and now we're heading into 2024 with the real Raider way. We finally have a coach that is just like us, has a great swagger, has great leadership ability. Now it's time to put it to the test, guys. This offseason, we have to bring in great talent, and we have to draft well. Like I said, because if we miss once again in the first or second round, then we're going to be set up for failure. This offseason, we absolutely have to draft a quarterback of the future. Some names that are attached to the Raiders are Caleb Williams, of course, but also Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year, who was also seen that he was at the Raiders locker room after we won that last game. So is Antonio Pierce manifesting this? Only time will tell, guys. So like I said, guys, wins and losses are not tied to the general manager. So you can't base your opinion on Tom Telesco off of the Chargers, success, which they haven't had any in years past. But look at the players he brought in. The Derwin James of the world, the Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Rashawn Slater, Mike Williams. These guys are great, all at their respective positions. It's not his fault that Brandon Staley couldn't get this team to play together and be successful. Now that will be Antonio Pierce's job for the future. Can he get this Raiders team going in the right direction? Because I believe Tom Telesco will give Antonio Pierce the right players. He'll draft well. And it all starts this year in the first round. We absolutely have to get a quarterback. His first task is going to be having to move up in the draft. Now, he's not known for moving up in the draft, and the Raiders desperately need a quarterback. So, let me know in the comments, how do you guys feel about this Tom Telesco signing at the general manager position? And also, do you see the Raiders moving up in the draft and snatching one of these top quarterbacks? And until next time, Raider Nation, peace.